how to be assertive. Would you believe, as a search term, that phrase was entered into Google more than 240,000 times around the world last month? So, if you've ever found yourself walking away from difficult people or challenging situations, wishing that you had spoken up, wishing that you had said something that you didn't, wishing that you had been more assertive, what those Google figures show us is that you are not alone. There are many, many people around the world who want to develop more assertiveness in their life. Now, my name is Brian Carroll. I'm the founder of a company here in Melbourne, Australia. It's called Performance Development, and I've worked in the field of assertiveness skills and leadership skills development for more than 25 years. What I'd like to do over the next couple of minutes is just share with you some thoughts. Firstly, on what we mean by being assertive, and secondly, touch on some of the type of thinking that we need to cultivate in order to develop greater assertiveness in our lives. So, what do we mean by being assertive? Well, firstly, let's contrast assertiveness to two other approaches to living your life. There's the aggressive approach and the accommodating approach. Now, the aggressive person is basically characterized by someone who simply pursues their own goals, their own needs, and their own concerns with very little regard, if any, for the needs and concerns of other people. Aggressive people can often attempt to control a situation by intimidating or in subtle ways threatening other people. Now, that aggressive approach based basically on pursuing their own goals, whatever the cost, that approach may get those people what they want in the short term. But certainly over time, none of us willingly want to be around those people or work with those people. Secondly, then, there is that more accommodating or conciliatory or passive approach to living your life. And that's an approach basically motivated by a desire to keep the peace and avoid conflict. Now, whilst those are certainly worthwhile goals, keeping the peace can't be at any cost. If we're talking about keeping the peace at the cost of our own self-esteem, at the cost of sacrificing continually our needs and our concerns, at the cost, therefore, to our well-being, then that can be too big a price to pay. So the third approach to living our life is this so-called assertive approach. And it's based upon being able to speak up and say what we really think, how we really feel, what our concerns may be, what our opinions may be. Speaking up, standing up, and doing that confidently and directly. Now, our intent is certainly not to create conflict, but we're not fearful of conflict. Now, I don't mean physical conflict, but I mean in the sense of we have no fear of upsetting other people. The assertive approach is certainly about speaking up, saying what you think. However, it is balanced by an equal concern and responsiveness to other people and what they think or what their concerns are. So assertiveness is about finding that right balance between saying what you think and listening to other people and what they think. Now, sometimes what that means is if we find ourselves in disagreement, assertiveness is about seeing if we can discuss the issue further and find an outcome that works for both ourselves and the other party. Now, let's acknowledge that that may not always be possible. But again, that assertive approach means simply respecting and accepting that there will be times we can't get a resolution to every issue. But at least we know that we've done our best. We can walk away from that person or walk away from that situation and basically we don't have the same level of regret that we do if we hadn't spoken up. So certainly cultivating, developing that more assertive approach to dealing with difficult people and challenging situations is one that will be good for our self-esteem. It can be good for more healthier relationships, because those relationships will be based upon open and honest communication between ourselves and other people. Having defined assertiveness, however, what is the sort of thinking that can help drive and help us actually develop that more assertive approach in our life? Because as a psychologist, certainly one thing that I have found over many, many years is that so often people are not able to make a sustained change to the way they behave and the way they live their life until they have changed some of the thinking and some of the belief systems on which their actions and their decisions and their behaviour is founded. So one of the types of attitudes that we need to try and cultivate in order to be assertive is the mindset that our needs are just as important as other people, and that we have the right to be happy. We have the right to express what our needs or concerns or our ideas may be. We have just as much right as anyone else. And once we accept that we have that right, and also once we accept that we have a responsibility to ourselves to speak up and say what we think, and as long as we do that in a positive and constructive and a timely manner, then we're being assertive. And that's an approach to life based upon respect for ourselves and respect for other people. We have as much right to be happy as anyone else around us. So, thank you for listening, thank you for your time, and in some future video clips I hope that I can share some more thoughts and some more of my experience with you. Again, thank you for your time.